Greetings everybody and welcome. This tutorial, I've been looking forward to it for a while. It's going to be basically a how-to with HTML, and I mean pretty basic. We'll put together a website with some images, links, video, and a little blog feature. And you don't have to use all of it. You just use what you want. But it's pretty simple, and I think you'd be surprised if you don't have any experience before with HTML how simple it is. And the website that we'll be using also, it's a great resource. I use it all the time still, especially now I'm trying to remember everything I've forgotten. Here's what I want the end product to look like for the most part. Pretty simple. Basically a bit of an almanac, a way to chronicle a career, but you could also use it to put up single seasons and the info about them. You could use it to put up quick play games, single games, if you want to put up your box scores, and maybe if you make a little video of highlights or something from it, and you could keep track of all the quick play games, replay games, things of that nature. So you could use it for anything. You could use it for something that has nothing to do with football or video games, but the basics are there. And this is kind of a little blog that you could add entries to for updating events and things in relation to your career or the website. So yeah, that's about it. And this is straightforward with very minimal styling with CSS, but you can take this with CSS, which I'll do in a later video, and you can trick it out and make it look a lot nicer. This is my regular website, and this is CSS I use to make the little bit of this and that, and without the CSS you would just see a bunch of links running down the left side, some images here and there. So it definitely makes a difference. But this is right here basic and functional and gets the job done. And once you learn how to do everything in Notepad from the ground up, so to speak, with HTML, it gives you a lot more control. I mean, there's a lot of great programs out there for making websites, but I got to tell you, once you learn a little bit of HTML, it's hard to use those, because you just the having the control over what you're doing is a lot of fun. But let's go to Pro Strategy, because there's a couple things I want to show real quick to get the data you need. So this career, I've just been doing all sorts of things with it, but we're at the end of the season now, getting ready to start the off season. So now's when I would go ahead and get all of your output, and that's this button down here, Export Season Data. Now, one thing I'll point out here is this part right here, the season leaders. It only outputs as a CSV, which is no problem. It outputs it great. But the problem is, I don't think you can do this for previous seasons. You have to get this during this part of the season that you're in. Because once let's go to career history, past seasons. I'm pretty sure it's not there, because at first it fooled me and I didn't think it was in here at all. And I think I've simmed through like 20 seasons, so it takes a bit to load your past seasons. But I'm just going to pick a random season, 1979, export season data. See, you don't have any kind of an option for the league leaders, is basically what that is. And you have everything else, it looks like: standings, rosters, season stats, and the two different types of schedules. The news or transactions, if you click on season transactions, you'll have this saved to disk. This will save it to a text file, and I've got one right here. I just save it as the year of the season, and then news, and that's all these all the transactions, and it's got everything that happened during that season. Injuries, all this stuff: drafted, cut, free agents, franchise, retired, injuries. It's all included. So as long as you have it set to all transactions saved to disk, then you can save it as like I did, 75 news. If you only select a certain one, like let's say you only selected cut, actually if you hit save to disk, I'm pretty sure I tested this and it will just save cut. So if you want to have a separate for each category, then you would go to each and then save, and just save it to a different name. And I'm pretty sure I tested this and that's how it works. But if you just want it all, just make sure it's set to all and then save. And I think that is the only one that is, yeah, that's the only one that's not on the export season data tab. Is go over to transactions, and then that's how you can have a printout of all the news from that season from every week. And then you go back to here and you just do each one of these, and it's a text, and you just save it to whatever name you want. And I did 2 seasons worth. I did a 75 and a 76, but it's pretty straightforward within the game. Let me see, make sure I saved out. Alright, so let me do that, because like I said, you can't get like elite leaders from previous seasons. So you would need to make sure you get those before you progress beyond the off season. So when you get to after your championship, you have this screen, get it now. And then CSV, and it already comes with a title, season leaders, and let's just say this was the 75 season. I'm just going to put 75 and then season leaders, and it saves it to that import export folder. So we're done with the game because I've already saved everything else out, and it'll be in that zip file of the base files that you need. But if you go here, you'll see it. Here it is, 75. That's the one we just saved. And if you open it, I don't know if comma makes it. Yeah, I don't know if comma makes a difference or not. Let me check. Ooh, yeah, that's not good. Let me get rid of that. It imports good. I haven't tried that yet, so I figured let me try that. Open file. Season leaders. Open. Make sure comma is checked. And the rest of these are not checked. And this is LibreOffice Calc that it's opening in. And there you go. And it's very nice. Everything's where it should be. A couple things to do though to make sure that it prints out properly. I'll go ahead and save it real quick so you can see. If you don't do anything and hit save as, go down here to where it gives you the save as type and find HTML document, and then save. And here it is. This is what we just saved. See how everything's kind of off? Don't want that. And that's not the game's fault. It's just how that imports. So go to each category. Well, actually, this little corner right up here, click it, and you have the entire sheet selected. Go to the A column, because you don't really want to do anything with A. Hold down Control, left click on A. You've unselected A, so A is not going to be affected by what we're about to do. Now all you do is, if you go right here to this where you see these lines to the left, lines in the center, lines to the right, that's literally what it is, and that'll align everything that's selected. So just click that and boom, now everything is lined up. It looks great. Now go to File, Save As, and it still says HTML, so hit Save. Yes, Replace. Now if we double click it, see, everything is lined up perfect. and the player names are all to the left. It looks great. And that was the only adjustment you had to do, and really that's the only, I think, adjustment you need to make to any of the output. The only other one you might want to make adjustment to would be the play-by-play, and that's if it's the compact, and I don't know if I have one saved out. Yeah, I do. If you look at the compact play-by-play, the difference is the compact is every single time entry or play is on its own line. It's just one sentence all the way across. And the legacy is in like a paragraph format. And they both have their, I guess, benefits. It's just a preference thing. But you might have to. This is LibreOffice Writer. So click File, Open. Let me find it. Compact. When you open the play-by-play compact, it's pretty big. Now, once you save to HTML, it's not going to be all jumbled up like this. It'll be spread out more because it's horizontal, you know, on a horizontal, on a wide screen. But let's see. Let me make sure. So let's save it 75 play-by-play. Now let's go back, and that was compact. Yeah, see it spread it out, and it does take up the whole width. And if it runs off screen and you don't really want it to, just go back to here, edit, select all, and change your font size to say 8. Then save real quick, and then let's go back and check it. Oops. There, see, now it's smaller. And if that's too small, then you could put it back up one. But other than and this is just if you want to, if you don't want to have to scroll to the right or left, but depending on your monitor size, you may have to no matter what. But you don't really even have to adjust this one. But the main one to adjust is the season leaders, because they'll be all out of whack if you don't center all the data over here. If you want to sort, because they're not sorted, and you can't just select a column and sort, because you'll get a lot of everything else will be affected, and the headers will get thrown in there. So basically, if, let's say, passing leaders, you want to sort by touchdowns, go to the first player's name and then the last data in the category, which would be this bottom corner over here. Hold down Shift and select. Now this whole thing's selected, and we're going to sort by touchdowns. So go up here to this square. This allows you to do, this makes you sort ascending and descending, but if you click on the square, it lets you choose which one you want to sort by, and you would be descending because that'll make it start with the highest at the top and then work its way down to the smallest. So we're going to do descending, and then we're sorting by column F. So change the column, and it's sort key 1. The other ones just leave alone, but select F and then OK, and then you'll see everything shifted to from the most yard. Oh, I did yards, didn't I? I meant touchdown. Well, we'll do that just because I did say touchdowns. Touchdowns is what? I. So just select I, make sure it's still descending, and boom, there you go. Now you've got the touchdown leader, Alf Hoyt of San Francisco, with 22. And you do that for, go down and do that to each category. If you want to do by rushing yards for running backs, select the first player's name and then the bottom corner. What do we got? Yards is E. So go to this little square here, sort, column, E, descending. Okay. And you got Homer there as the leading rusher. again, go and do that to every category. If you want to, you can leave it alone if you don't care, if you just want it out there. But if you want to sort by particular category for each position, then you would go through and do that for each category. And then once you're done, File, Save As, and make sure it's set to HTML. And I had to overwrite it there, but there you go, and it looks great, and it's sorted by touchdowns, and this is sorted by yards, and each category would be sorted. And that is pretty much it, I think, as far as output from the game. And again, I don't know what other programs would export to HTML as well as this one does. If you have something that you use, then by all means let us know what that is, if it's something other than LibreOffice. But LibreOffice is a great program, and if you want it, just Google LibreOffice and it's right there, and then you can download. And the version really won't matter. They do a pretty good job of, from version to version, everything works. But just go to the download. You can download now, and download, install, and then you'll be set to go.